Hello everyone, welcome back to Upcoming IAS. So today we'll be starting with class 6 polity ncert chapter 5. So from here on we'll begin unit 3. So the unit 3 is all about local government and administration. The heading of our new chapter is Panchayati Raj. What happens after people elect their representatives? How are decisions made? Let's look at how this takes place in rural areas. Here we look at the Gram Sabha, which is a meeting where people directly participate and seek answers from their elected representatives, as is shown below. I'm sorry. Yes, as is shown below. It's a special day today. Everyone rushing to get the Gram Sabha. Do you know why? Because the Gram Sabha is holding its first meeting after the election of the new Gram Panchayat. The people of Hardas village are keen to find out what their new Panchayat leaders have planned for the village. The Gram Sabha is a meeting of all adults who live in the area covered by a Panchayat. This could be only one village or a few things. In some states, as in the example above, a village meeting is held for each village. Anyone who is 18 years old or more and who has the right to vote is a member of the Gram Sabha. The Gram Sabha meeting begins with the Panchayat president. From here on, we'll read about small story about the village, and yes. So beginning from Gram Sabha again. The Gram Sabha meeting begins with the Panchayat president, who is also called the Sarpanch, and the members of the Panchayat, the Panch, presenting a plan on repairing the road that connects the village to the main highway. After this discussion moves to the subject of water and water shortages. So every village panchayat is divided into wards, that is smaller areas. Each ward elects a representative who is known as the ward member panch. All the members of the Gram Sabha also elect a sarpanch, who is the panchayat president. The ward panch and sarpanch form the Gram Sabha. The Gram Panchayat is elected for 5 years. The Gram Panchayat has a secretary who is also the secretary of the Gram Sabha. This person is not an elected person but is appointed by the government. The secretary is responsible for calling the meeting of the Gram Sabha and Gram Panchayat and keeping a record of the proceedings. So let's continue the story. A villager called Tijia begins the meeting by saying the water problem in Hardas has become very acute. The hand pump water has gone well below the point up to which the ground has been drilled. We hardly get any water in the taps. Women have to go to the Suru river, which is 3 kilometers away, to get water. One of the members suggests piping water from the Suru and making an overhead tank in the village to increase the supply, but the others think that this will be expensive. It's better they feel to deepen the hand pumps and clean the wells for this season. Tijia says, this is not enough. We need to do something more permanent, as groundwater levels seem to be going down every year. We are using more water than is seeping into the ground. Another member, Anwar, that tells everyone that he has seen ways of conserving water and recharging, that is refilling it, in a village in Maharashtra where he'd once gone to visit his brother. It was called watershed development, and he had heard that the government gave money for this work. In his brother's village, people had planted trees, constructed check dams and tanks. Everyone thought this was an interesting idea, and the Gram Panchayat was asked to find about it in detail. So what is the Gram Sabha? In the meeting of the Gram Sabha, so far what are the problems that are being discussed? What sort of solutions are being suggested? So guys, answer this in the comments section. The next item on the agenda for the Gram Sabha is the finalization of the list of people below the poverty line, that is BPL, which had to be approved by the Gram Sabha. As soon as the list is read out, people begin to whisper. Natwa has just bought a color TV and his son has sent him a new motorcycle. How can he be below the poverty line? Surajmal mutters to the person sitting next to him. Saroj says to Sukhi Bai, how did Birju's name get on the list? He has so much land. This list should have only poor people. Okay, these are the people who are discussing, village people who are discussing the matters right here. And Om Prakash is a landless laborer who can barely make ends meet, yet his name is not on the list. You know that both Natwar and Birju are friends of Amit Chand, who can counter Amit Chand's power. Sukhi Bai says Amit Chand was the earlier zamindar, that is landowner of the village, and still has control over a land over a lot of land, but we should get Om Prakash's name put in. The Sarpanch Panchayat president notices people whispering and asks if anyone has anything to say. Saroj tries to provoke Surajmal to ask about Natwar and Birju, but he keeps quiet. Amit Chand is sitting in the Gram Sabha, keeping an eye on everyone. Then Saroj gets up and says that Om Prakash's name should be in the BPL list. Others agree that he and his family are very poor. The Sarpanch asks how his name has been missed out. The teacher who did the survey of BPL family says Om Prakash's house was locked when I went there. He may have gone somewhere to look for work. The Sarpanch gives instructions that Om Prakash's family income be looked at, and if it is less than what has been decided by the government, his name should be included in the list. So what is a small snippet? Okay. The Gram Sabha is a key factor in making the Gram Panchayat play its role and be responsible. It is the place where all plans for the work of Gram Panchayat are placed before the people. The Gram Sabha prevents the Panchayat from doing wrong things like misusing money or favoring certain people. It plays an important role in keeping an eye on the elected representatives and in making them responsible to the persons who elected them. For now, we'll skip this portion. If you want, you can pause the video and read it. Now we'll discuss about the Gram Panchayat. Gram Panchayat meets regularly, and one of its main tasks is to implement development programs for all villages that come under it. As you have seen, the work of the Gram Panchayat has to be approved by the Gram Sabha. In some states, Gram Sabhas form committees like construction and development committees. These committees include some members of the Gram Sabha and some from the Gram Panchayat who work together to carry out specific tasks. The work of a Gram Panchayat includes maintenance and construction of water sources, roads, drainage, school buildings, and other common property resources, levying and collecting local taxes, executing government schemes related to generating employment in the village, sources of funds for the panchayat, collection of taxes on houses, marketplaces, etc., government scheme funds received through various departments of the government through the Janpad and 7th and Zilla Panchayats, donations for the community works, etc. So let's see what the Hardas Gram Panchayat was able to do. Do you remember the options that were suggested to solve the water problem in the Gram Sabha of Hardas village? When the Hardas Gram Panchayat held a meeting, this point was brought up again by some of the members, that is Panchs. This meeting was attended by the Sarpanch, ward members, Panchs, and the secretary. Gram Panchayat members. Okay, what is this picture of the lady? Okay, this is picture. I'm sorry. This picture of a woman, two village panchs from Maharashtra who were awarded the Nirmal Gram Puraskar in 2005 for the excellent work done by them in the panchayat. So do you remember the options that were suggested to solve the water problem in the Gram Sabha of Hardas village? When the Hardas Gram Panchayat held a meeting, this point was brought up again by some of the members, Panchs. This meeting was attended by Sarpanch, ward members, Panchs, and the secretary. Gram Panchayat members first discussed the suggestion to deepen 2 hand pumps and clean 1 well so that the village would not go without water. The Sarpanch Panchayat president suggested that since the panchayat had received some money for maintenance of hand pumps, this could be used for completing this work. The members agreed and the secretary recorded their decision. Have a look at these 2 pictures and you can read the caption as well. Okay, the members then went on to discuss the options for a long-term solution. They were sure that the Gram Sabha members would ask questions at the next meeting. Some punts asked whether the watershed program would make a substantial difference to the water level. A lot of discussion followed. In the end, it was decided that the Gram Panchayat would approach the block developer officer and get more information on the scheme. What decisions were taken by the Gram Panchayat? Do you think it was necessary for them to take these decisions? Why? From the above description, write down one question that people could ask one of the Panchayat in the next Gram Sabha meeting. Now we'll discuss about the 3 levels of Panchayat. After reading about what happened in the Gram Sabha and the Gram Panchayat in Hardas village, you can understand that the Panchayati Raj system is a process through which people participate in their own government. In rural areas, the Gram Panchayat is the first tier or level of democratic government. The Panch and the Gram Panchayat are answerable to the Gram Sabha because it is the members of the Gram Sabha who elected them. The idea of people's participation in Panchayati Raj system extends to two other levels. One is the block level, which is called the Janpad Panchayat or the Panchayat Samiti. The Panchayat Samiti has many Gram Panchayats under it. Above the Panchayat Samiti is the District Panchayat or the Zilla Parishad. The Zilla Parishad actually makes developmental plans at the district level with the help of Panchayat Samitis. It also regulates the money distribution among all the Gram Panchayats within the guidelines given in the constitution. Each state in the country has its own laws with regard to panchayats. The idea is to provide more and more space for people to participate and raise their voice. You can skip this portion. So what do we got to know from this chapter? It was a special day. It's actually a hypothetical village on a special day of that village, the Gram Sabha holds its first meeting after election of the new Gram Panchayat. The meeting discusses the village's new Panchayat leaders' plans, including road repairs and water shortages. Members were 18 plus and have the right to vote. Okay, a villager who is Tijia discusses the acute water problem in Harda, stating that hand pump water is below the ground level. The Gram Sabha discusses watershed development and the finalization of a list of people below the poverty line. The Gram Sabha is divided into wards and elected for 5 years. The Gram Panchayat has a secretary who is also the secretary of the Gram Sabha. Then, Om Prakash, a landless labourer, is not on the BPL list due to his family's poverty. The Gram Sabha, a key factor in ensuring the Gram Panchayat's responsibility, prevents them from misusing money or favouring certain people. The Sarpanch instructs the teacher to check Om Prakash's family income, and if it's less than the government's decision, his name should be included. The Gram Panchayat is a regular body responsible for implementing development programs for villages, which must be approved by the Gram Sabha. Its work includes construction and maintenance of water sources, roads, drainage, school buildings and other property resources, as well as levying and collecting taxes and executing government schemes. The Gram Panchayat in Hardas village is a hypothetical village here, participated in the Panchayati Raj system involving people in their own government. They made decisions on a watershed program which was discussed with the Gram Sabha members. The Panchayati Raj system extends to block and district levels. Zilla Parishad develops district level development plans and regulates money distribution among Gram Panchayats following constitutional guidelines for each state's Panchayat laws, promoting participation and voice raising. And remember guys, this is the most important chapter because this has been mentioned in the UPSC pre-syllabus very clearly. So please read it and revise it well. Thank you so much guys for today's video.